She said she had some.
I know. I text her and she's like, I literally just text her.
It's all good. It's all good. So we can start from the top and we just go through the process because now I think it'll be better now with the Wi-Fi because I was having really major Wi-Fi situation going on when I
Okay.
first started earlier. It was just so it's all good. Whatever's happening is happening. I'm gonna just let the universe do what it does.
Right? It was a trial run. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So when did you because I know that you do therapeutic nutritionist, and so when did the connection coach piece come into play?
Well, for me, it's the same. It just, a lot of people doesn't, when I say therapeutic nutritionist, they're like, what the fuck is that?
I
To be honest,
play
right?
on words.
And so I'm like, okay, well, that's not connecting with my ideal client because it's missing. They're like, I don't know what the fuck that is. That sounds too technical. It sounds like therapy and nutrition, which both sound super shitty to me. So no thanks.
I get it. But let's jump into it though. Who is your ideal client though? Who are those people?
So my ideal client are women who really are about, 30 to 65, and they have been through some shit and
Mm.
they are ready for change. It's gonna make me cry.
It's okay.
Because
You could cry
they're
on the
tired. They're tired of being tired. They're ready to begin living their life.
mm-hmm.
And they've just been surviving this whole time, feeling disconnected and not knowing that there was any other fucking way to live. And so they've
Mm.
gotten these little glimpses of, hey, maybe there's something different. And so they're ready. And that is my ideal client. They're
I love it.
ready for change.
I love it. Let me just put it this way because the sun was just blaring in my face just now. Lord have mercy. That's amazing. So, how did that come about when you decided that this is your ideal client and these are the women that you want to work with?
Because that was me. That is me.
I
And
understand.
I know the struggle, right? And
Mhm.
amazing women like you that I have come across. I my
Your
mom
mom?
is my ideal. Yeah. I've watched her grow and be vulnerable, and she started this journey about like a year and a half ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just amazing to watch. And I know what I've experienced in breaking out of the system per se, breaking out of the supposed to be's. I say fuck perfect. We've
Mm-hmm.
been programmed to be these perfect robots, things, women, whatever the fuck you want to say,
Yeah.
following all these rules of supposed to be's.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not, as humans, that's not how we were created.
And it's
And
not
so we
realistic.
feel it's not. It is not. It is not. This is why we see so many people when we talk about pandemics. People don't want to be here. Why? Because it's not fucking fun.
It's
It
not.
it's not. We're told that who you are is not okay. Like,
Yeah.
you have to be all of these things and you have
Mm-hmm.
to do them all. I want to know who made this supposed to be. Who said all of these shit that we say in our head, oh, it's supposed to be this way. It's supposed to be. Who the fuck said that? Who made those rules?
I don't know. I think that society has so much make believe bullshit and people follow them time and time and time again. The perfect example I always give is the fashion industry. When someone says, who's a fashion icon or whatever, that the color of the season is orange, a bitch like me be wearing purple because I just don't get because
Well, and see,
I'm not gonna subscribe to what you think my fashion sense
right.
should be. So the fact that people have thought about all these different things is just a construct of a person's imagination of what their belief system is. But you don't have to go with another person's belief system. You got to honor your belief system, and that's why I get so passionate when it comes to authenticity, being the authentic self, because being the authentic self is creating your own belief system, creating exactly who you want to be, and breaking the misconception of how people perceive you to be. And that happens from like childhood bullshit. Like, I was programmed to be the people pleaser in my family. So growing up, I'm like, I gotta take care of this one. I gotta do this for this one. And you deplete yourself and you're trying to figure out why, but you don't know how to stop the damn cycle because you weren't taught how to.
Well, and that is huge right there, is helping people understand that they have a choice. There is a choice. So many, I didn't even know I had a choice. I didn't even know I was in that. And I definitely was cookie cutter. Like, this is who you're supposed to be. Like that. Okay, spit it back out and create new ones. Like, and then something changed and my whole belief system fell apart.
What was it that changed for you that your whole belief system fell apart? Was it a specific moment in time? Was it an experience? Mine was a near-death experience. What was yours?
So, to be completely honest, it was a moment that it started and then it compounded. So, when we had the first election when Trump was being elected and vaccines were being talked about, those two things shifted my whole focus. It made me like, oh, I need to pay attention to what the fuck is going on. I had never done that before. I had never paid attention. What do I want? Not what are my mom and dad doing? What are my grandparents doing? What do I want to do for my kids? Just because all that has been the way that it's been done, what do I want to do? And so it just started there, and learning, my brother and my daughter, almost losing them because they no longer wanted to be here, and seeing the mental health system in this country. I was like, this is absolutely asinine. This is insane. And then my son being sick in Western medicine doctors not being able to help or choosing to not. It just was a compound. And I said, oh, and the interesting thing enough is the more that I stepped out of that little box, people freaked the fuck out. And I was like,
of course, because you disrupted motherfuckers. That's why.
Right. And I was like, oh, what is this? Why are people freaking the fuck out? And it, that portion, when I started changing who I was and operating, I had to dig deep. And this is where connection to self really came in, is because everything that I knew, almost everybody that I loved and knew me were like, I don't know you anymore. Who are you?
Exactly.
I don't like that. Go back to the other way. And I was like, ew.
Yeah, for me, it was like, don't change who you are. We like the way you are. You're so loving and kind. And it's like, once I said, fuck you, and I want to, kind of like implement boundaries of who I want to become and work in being in my authentic self, embody all that is Dillis, Victoria, Phoenix, Wait, Davis, whoever the fuck my names are these days. Why is it to you? Why?
Why do you, right? Like, why do you care so much? I mean, when I shaved my head, people lost their shit.
Yep.
And I was like, why?
Why are you worrying about me shaving my fucking head? It's my head. It's on my body. And I do what I want. If it makes you feel good, if you feel free doing. And here's the thing. I think what it is that when you start changing and disrupting, people are so afraid because they know within themselves they have changes to make and they don't want to make the changes. And you being around them is disrupting their spirit because their spirit has already been talking to them like, hey, you need to be doing this thing. You need to be living in your purpose. You're supposed to serve humanity. What the fuck you waiting for? And here comes Amber. Woohoo! And they're like, damn, this is making me uncomfortable as fuck.
Right. And their own fear of losing, being abandoned. Because I think that we all have a deep, innate fear of being abandoned. As humans, we don't want to be alone. And so when we disrupt that comfortability, are they just going to leave? Are they going to leave now? Oh, this doesn't feel safe. Any kind of change makes it scary.
Absolutely. And I think too, with change being scary, people don't want to lean into the fear because they're so afraid of the unknown, or they're afraid to find out exactly who they are. And that in itself is scary. When I learned that I have my light and I have my shadow side, and my shadow side can be a vengeful, vindictive bitch, I had to learn how to embody her and kind of like walk in my duality and allow that to serve me in a positive, powerful way and not in a negative way. Right.
That's
But that's
huge.
something you got to learn. You got to learn those things. And it's sitting with the self, because I took my vindictive, black, dark self and I put her in a straitjacket with some shackles, and I put her all the way to fuck back in my subconscious mind. And I left the bitch there for years because she wasn't serving me. And then I had to face her in 2019, 2020, when I was going
And
through
she
my,
was like, ah!
yeah, she was like, what you gonna do now? What's up? And I'm like, I don't want to deal with your ass right now. She was like, but Dillis, we need to deal with each other. I mean, you and me, like, what are we doing? So people are afraid of that.
100%. They are, because we're not fucking taught that shit. We're not taught also that anger is a beautiful emotion and it
Yes.
can be it's essential. But the only anger that we're taught is explosive anger, and when we hold it in and it comes out in negative ways, not the healthy ways to process anger.
I've always said honor your feelings regardless if they're good or bad, because feelings are neither good or bad, they're just feelings. And it's sitting with the self and saying to yourself, like you said, like, what's going on with me? Why am I feeling this anxiety and nervousness and, sweaty palms or whatever? Like, where is it coming from? And the more you sit with yourself, the more that you do self introspection, the answers come to you quicker, because you're so in tune with you emotionally, mentally, and a spiritual level that you feel it physically. And you'll know
Yes.
what's with you on a spiritual level, where you don't have to be running to the fucking doctor for them to tell you, oh, you need to go to a psychiatrist. No, I don't. I need to sit with my motherfucking self. That's what I need to do.
And I truly believe that a lot of these illnesses is because we're running from our emotions, right? The more that we shove them down, I believe that we create emotions. I know that I did for myself when I lived a life of lying and cheating and disconnection from myself.
Yeah.
I gave myself one stage before cancer. I know that.
Damn.
And when I changed my life, that went away.
Yeah.
Because our body is all that is disease,
Yeah.
dis-ease. Our body is creating a disease.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that there is not a place for Western medicine. I definitely believe that there is. I just believe that it's more short term than long term. And we are
Absolutely.
not taught long term health.
Mm-mm. We're not. And even when it comes to self love and self care, at times we're not taught what that actually means, because self love and care, yes, it could be getting a manicure, pedicure, massage, and all those things. But self love too is like really, really being in tune with yourself emotionally, mentally, and accepting everything you're feeling, accepting
And
it and embodying it.
right. And what I've found is the reason that people don't do that is because they're terrified that when they go and cry in the bathroom floor, that they're never going to get up. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the fear that they're going to get stuck in those places. And I understand that. I have had that same fear. But
Mm-hmm.
what I have found is that when you honor them, they don't stay as long.
Yeah.
And you don't have, I know that I used to have these dips, right? Depression highs, but now it's more like this. It's more manageable. You're like, oh,
Really?
which is natural, which is the flow of, I mean, it's being human, right? But it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be so extreme, this black and white, this harsh
Yeah.
up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what happens is when also we try to shut off pain, shut off fear, shut off anger, we also shut off joy.
Yeah, because you suffocate yourself so much that you become so fucking numb that you don't even know how to feel anymore. And that was me
A
for a very
hundred
long time.
percent.
I didn't know how to feel. Like someone could be like, "You're beautiful, I love you," da, da, da. And I'm just sitting there like, "Yeah, that's cool, that's nice. I like to hear that."
Right.
But deep down inside, I didn't know how to receive it, accept it, or feel about it, because I was
The
so
receiving
fucking
is, that's a whole other level, is receiving.
Absolutely. Receiving joy, receiving peace, receiving unconditional love, receiving that a person accepts you for who you are, receiving that you accept you for who you are, receiving your form of love and compassion and worthiness and value and forgiveness and all those things that come along with it. It's a process, and it's something that has to be implemented every single day. Like when you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you wash your ass, you wash your body. Those things are just like, it's second nature, you know? So when it comes to feeling and accepting and receiving, it's the same thing that needs to be practiced every single day. You know, you just cannot stop that one day because you go back to the numbing spot.
Exactly. That's why I've created my badass morning. Some people call it a miracle morning, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I spend time with myself. I journal. I do affirmations. I meditate, breathe, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Sit with
Yeah.
yourself and allow yourself to just be. That's when my most creative, I always have a pen and notebook, because when I'm sitting, that's when my most creative juices flow and downloads and all of that. And yeah, spending time with ourselves.
Yeah, what I do too is I pretty much listen to 8 to 11 hour meditation, healing, sleep music.
I
And
love that.
some girl, I could say I have like 500 playlists, and I choose one which whatever my spirit speaks to is the one that I use. So last night it was like financial abundance and, you know, releasing the negative imposter syndrome, all that stuff. And I sleep with this. So in the morning, I'm so refreshed. And then in the morning is like, you know, gratitude. My roommate has 10 morning gratitude affirmations, and she has it stuck to the wall that when you're sitting in the toilet, you have no choice but to look in that direction.
Oh, I love that.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's 10 affirmations. And so I was on TikTok a couple months ago, and it was a gentleman talking about affirmations. Instead of saying I am, I feel. And so I started utilizing I feel grateful. I feel my lungs that are healthy. I feel my body that's physically great. I feel the abundance. I feel my clients coming to me. I deserve this. I feel like I deserve that. And it started shifting that way, as opposed to saying I am, because you can say an affirmation, you know, I know that
Be
God
disconnected.
is my person, but you're disconnected from it because you're not getting into the feeling and you're not setting the intention. You're just saying it to say it. And for a long
Right.
time, that's how I used to be. I'd be like, I want this and I want that. And okay. And I'll go about my business and nothing's happening. You're like, what the fuck just happened? I affirmed it. No, you didn't. You didn't affirm
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. And like you said, bringing back to the body, right?
it. Yeah.
And we have to make it believable too. A lot of the women that I work with, they're like, it's not going to do me any good to tell me I'm a millionaire, because I'm not. That my body doesn't believe that. So you also have to make it something believable, like I'm working to become a millionaire, or, you know, I feel like I can become that, and to baby step it. Otherwise, your subconscious, it closes it off anyway. And so,
For
like you said,
sure.
it doesn't do you any good.
For sure. So, what is one thing that you do with your clients to help them connect with themselves? Like, what is that practice like for you?
Love this question. And I love this part because it's so fucking easy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a million ways that you can do this. But what I always start my clients with, for really beginning to learn to trust themselves and listen to that still small voice, whether you want to call it your ing, your higher self, your consciousness, Holy Spirit, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is take 2 shirts, lay them on the bed, and whichever one your intuition tells you which one you're drawn to first, pick that one. Because
Okay.
listening to ourselves, our intuition is a muscle. It's something that we've never done. And so the more that we use it in small things that don't fucking matter, we
Yeah.
create a evidence box. So when it is something important, then our subconscious already has, and our conscious already has evidence that we can do that. We're like, oh, we've listened to this before. This is what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Most people try to just go straight into when there's a big decision to be made or something like that. Well, I don't know which is me. How do I know it's my intuition? And so it's a muscle, just like
Yeah.
anything else. So
So
that's what I always start with.
how do you teach them or share with them how to utilize that muscle? Like, what is some direction that you give them? Because a lot of times when it comes to intuition, people don't really know A, what it is, B, how to tap into it, C, what the fuck to do with it.
Right. And so that's kind of why we start with these baby steps is, snacks or the shirts, those two, because there's nothing attached to them. There's no fear. It doesn't really matter which one you choose. And so that helps take away the pressure. So when you go to choose the shirt, it's whichever one I say drawn to. And you're going to know it's going to be a blue, or you're going to feel a tug towards that. That's the one you choose. Now, as you grow, right, because it's a muscle. Now, the longer you do this, the easier it gets, right? So, but I say, do that every day with your snacks, with your food. Open your refrigerator. Do I choose the green beans or the banana? And whatever thought comes into your mind first, or whichever one you want to, drawn to, choose that one, because that's beginning to listen to yourself, beginning to build the intuitive muscle. And then we graduate up and up. But really, that's just, it depends on what you believe, right? Some people believe it's God. Some people believe it's their higher consciousness. Some, so their gut feeling, whatever resonates with them, I call it a cheat code. Yeah. Because it really is. It's a cheat code. We don't have to make all the decisions. Our higher selves already know what's best for us. We just have to listen.
True. Agreed 100%.
And so
I like that you said about when you go to the refrigerator and you're choosing whichever you see something in the refrigerator, and whatever your gut or your instinct or your intuition tells you, that pick that one. That makes perfect sense, because it's very simple and easy, because neither is the right or wrong. It's just what your mind or your intuition is telling you to choose. That's going to be the right one anyway.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And that's where I think a lot of people, where I got tripped up, is especially all the women I work with suffer from perfectionism. We have to choose the right answer. And this is where we get stuck in this negative cycle of, okay, so then we just don't choose, which is a choice. Right. And we just stay stuck, right? So when we take that fear out, when we take that expectation of getting it wrong, because we've all been programmed, we can't get it wrong. We'll be punished. We'll be judged. We'll be whatever. And so when we start small like that, then it's building that muscle and evidence that we can listen to ourselves. And that also is really huge, because we haven't been taught how to listen to ourselves from birth, especially, if you're like, you have to go give Aunt Edna a hug, and you're like, I don't want to hug her. And your family is like, exactly. You're already being told to not listen to yourself.
Yep.
And that's just one of the many ways that we are disconnected from ourselves.
Absolutely. And I understand that fully, because there's a couple of people in my family, and I'm just like, he gives me the creeps. And it's like, oh, go hug your uncle, go do this. And you're just like, I don't want to do that shit. But you're a kid, and it's like you have to stay in a kid's place. You cannot use your voice. You can't say this. You can't say that. You're a child. Your feelings don't matter. Your voice, nothing matters. And so you grow up with that narrative that I don't matter. Nothing I say matters. So I'm going to go ahead and tolerate and accept every fucking bullshit that people give me and throw at me.
Right. And on top of that goes with that is the person who is supposed to be keeping us safe, caring for us, our parent, our caregiver, is the one putting us in unsafe positions. Not intentionally most of the time, but they're setting us up for failure. And so we already have this, okay, like you said, if what I'm saying doesn't matter, I must not matter to you. But I can't lose you. I need you. Like I need you for my survival. So I have to do anything possible to keep you. And then we create this view of self, and this is, people pleasing, not because it comes from a place of not wanting to be abandoned.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that in itself actually makes it easier for you to be preyed on when it comes to an abuser.
100%.
You've been trained to be abused.
Yeah.
They that.
100%. And that's just a small little example. And then you compound that with, you don't get to choose what you wear, you don't get to choose what you eat, you don't get to choose your hair, you don't get to choose anything. You are not you. And so this goes back to, I've had, a client, it's like, I don't even know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I? Not many people know who the fuck they are.
And they walk around this earth thinking that they do, and they're existing and not living. And when they're on a deathbed, it's like, shit, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, and I didn't. But at that point, you're transitioning into the next lifetime. Before you take your last breath, you have so many regrets of things that you never did, never said, who you were. All of those things come into play at that point in time. So I'm so grateful that you're able to help these women discover who they are. Not only discover, but create who they want to be.
Yes.
It's about creating who you want to be at this point, because you're the author of your story. You're the one that's going to write it.
100%.
Or co-create with the most high power. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
So I'm glad that you're embodying being a connection coach, where you're helping these women connect with themselves in a very powerful, authentic, loving way, with some F-bombs, because we be cussing up in these streets. That's just what we do.
That is. Because that's who the fuck we are.
Exactly. And it's a powerful thing where you can see a woman being her true authentic self in her true authentic form, even if she's an alpha female or a very masculine of energy centered female or whatever she is still in her true form, and not afraid to just step out on these streets and just be like, this is me, take it or leave it. You like it, you like it, you don't. I really don't give a fuck at this point.
We are in the less fuck stage, yes.
Yes. It was a TikTok, and the lady was like, I don't know what the guy said to her. She was like, I'm just waiting for fucks to come up from the sky because I live. I was like, repost that one too. And because once you come to that place of connecting with the true self, the real self, that's when everything just feels a little bit lighter. Not that you're not going to go through to challenges or, trials and tribulations, but you'll know how to confront and handle them in the most powerful way, because you're your most highest powerful self.
Yes. And that doesn't mean that we're never going to, like you said, feel pain or fall or make mistakes or go through something traumatic, because we're human.
Yep. We are human. To be having a human experience is sometimes we're human beings having a spiritual experience.
Yes. And being human is weird.
Girl, talk about it. So you have like day offers, any specials that you have going on that you want to share with the peoples?
Right now, I am just having discovery calls. What I want for you guys is to not fucking wait for the new year. Everybody waits for the new year to start something. We don't need to start now. Start today. It's a free discovery call. Hop on a call. Talk to me about how your goals, who you want to be, where you want to be, what do you want to create, what do you want to feel, what do you want to feel, and we don't need to wait. And so that's why I didn't do any holiday things. I'm like, you know what? No, we are doing this today. We're not waiting until January. We're not waiting until Christmas. It is today. We have this moment and this choice. We always wait. We're going to wait and see. We're going to wait until Monday. We're going to wait until learn more. I'm going to wait until am this weight. No, stop waiting. Just start today. Make one baby step. Message me. Hop on a free discovery call. That is a baby step. And then let's fucking celebrate that. Let's celebrate that you just took that step and you didn't wait.
Yep. Agreed. 100%. That's why I'm doing my master class next Sunday. I'm not waiting till next year.
Yes. Yes. I love that.
Because it don't make no damn sense. I mean, I have a plethora of different things going on, and I'm like, I'm
Right.
just with like this year. I'm not gonna wait till next year to do it or whatever, because to me it doesn't make no sense. What and I'm definitely a person that I like to take action, and I don't like to wait. Like I was having a conversation um the other day with my ex, and she was like, "Are you seeing someone?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Why do you move so fast and move on so fast?" I said, "Life is too fucking short, and I'm not gonna sit here and wait. Why?" You know, if someone is treating me the way that I deserve and is aligned with my energy and is doing all the things, I'm gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm just gonna sit here and wait for why?"
It's one of the things that I love about you. I love watching you grow and just do all these different things and try. I think that that is also so beautiful. And what I help women do is
Mhm.
fail forward. We're going to do things that don't work out. That's the fucking point. You're not going to know what works if you never try anything. And
Exactly.
fortunately and unfortunately, you have to figure out what doesn't work for you to figure out
Mhm.
what does.
Yeah, because I mean, I've been in and out of relationships my entire life, and the thing about me is that people are like, "Well, you don't take time to heal. You don't take time to do this," and I'm like, I'm always healing. In a relationship or not in a relationship, I'm always healing. I'm always doing introspection. I'm always taking inventory of the self. That's something I've mastered doing my whole entire life. So it doesn't matter to me, but I'm a person, I'm very clear of what I want and what I deserve and what I need and what I desire. And it could be a person, place, thing, food, whatever the fuck it is. This chick gonna be like, "Oh, I want to try this. No, it was good, but I'm glad that I attempted it. Move on." That's just me.
And we're not programmed to do that, which is one of the things that why I love being in your energy, because it is so out of the programming, which I love.
I
And I
hate.
think that that's a beautiful, me too. It's a but people are stuck. People
Mhm.
are stuck. And
Yeah. I
it,
made a commitment and decision to myself when I had that near death experience that I will not be settling in situations that's not serving me. I will try it out and see. But if I feel myself heavy hearted and can't sleep at night and waking up in the morning and going through the same process and the same shit and it's not bringing me joy, it's not making me happy, I'm walking away from it. And I've also accepted to be the villain in everyone's story because I'm always going to be the villain. So I have a master's degree and a PhD and a doctorate in villainism. That's what it is for me. Because at the end of the day, it's just like I'm not gonna sit here and self-sacrifice and suffocate myself because I can't be me because you don't like the fact that I'm me. And so if that's the case, I'm not gonna be with anybody. And it doesn't matter if it's a relationship, it could be family and friends. But if I can't be myself around you and I cannot speak my truth and say what needs to be said, I don't want it. I don't
yeah,
want it.
there's, like you said, there's no time. Like we get this. Well, it depends on what you believe in. I believe that we've already lived this life several times, but
Yeah.
in this timeline, I want to enjoy it and I want to live it to the fullest that
So I
feels
do
right.
exactly. If it's not making my heart burst with joy and peace and love and happiness, I can do without it. And I
And
think
we
that
have that choice.
we do have that choice, and I'm choosing to be that way. And there's so many people in life that they hold on to situations and relationships and people and cycles and patterns and so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, it's like, are you happy? No. The fuck are you gonna do about it? And like you said, why are you waiting? Why are you waiting? What are you waiting for? You know,
Yeah.
because you can go through so much healing, by yourself, and then you get into a relationship and you're being triggered as fuck. You're being triggered. So now it's sitting with the self and be like, why is this triggering me now all of a sudden? Why is it coming up now? And if you have a partner that's understanding and empathetic and sympathetic, you can have that conversation and have a different perspective being presented to you to be like, oh, okay, now I understand. And at that point, you can just be like, okay, cool. Lesson learned. Let me see what I can do moving forward.
Exactly. And that's what I do for my clients is I step into that role that they don't have that person. And then the ultimate goal is to bring in their partner or friend or sister or
Yeah,
somebody in their immediate life to be that person for them. Because I
yeah,
do believe that we need safe people. Like
yeah, me too.
I believe we're created for connection. We need safe people. And so it's important to have those feelings and emotions validated, but we don't have
Absolutely.
to stay there. But I feel like we stay there so often because they aren't acknowledged, they're not validated, and they're told they don't matter.
Yep. Yep. And it's old programming too, because if back in the day, your grandparents, they stayed together because they felt like you had to stay together. So grandpa could be cheating on grandma with like 500 other women. I'm gonna stick beside him. No, I'm no.
Mm-hmm.
So it's breaking the narrative, because I always say that everyone else's experience that came before you, be it your mom, dad, your guardians, whoever it was that was taking care of you, your grandparents, those experiences that you were taught are based on their experiences, which they've put into you. And now when you become an adult, it's your responsibility to break those patterns, behaviors, and cycles and create your own belief system, your own experiences of how you want to truly, truly live your life, because it's not based on them no more. It's based on yourself.
Correct. And we don't know this. We create stories on why they've done those things, right?
Right.
And the beautiful example I always give is this mother and daughter. This mom would cook a ham. She would cut it, put it in this pan every Thanksgiving. Cut it, put it in this pan every Thanksgiving and cook it. And so when this daughter watched this mom do that, when the daughter got old enough to have her own Thanksgiving, she got the ham. The mom came over. The daughter was cooking. She cut the ham, put it in this pan, and put it in the oven. And the mom said, "Why did you cut the ham?"
Mm-hmm.
And the daughter said, "Because you've done that ever since I was little. That's exactly how you cooked it." And the mom
Mm-hmm.
said, "I didn't have a pan big enough to cook the ham in, so I had to cut it."
Mm.
But we just do shit because we've seen it done. We don't fucking know why.
Exactly. And it's questioning, always being in question mode and wandering mode and trying to figure out, why did I do it this way for so long? And knowing that you have a choice to change it and make it different for yourself or however you want it to be. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
necessarily be the way that your mom did it, grandma, auntie, uncle, whomever it was, whoever your guardian
Yep.
was in your life. And so that's something that I think a lot of people may want to just implement moving forward in their lives when they decide, because you have to be open, willing, and ready. If you're not,
Yep.
then it's not going to work.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's what I tell people is the first step is questioning.
Yep. Absolutely. I question everything all the time. I'm always asking questions like, why do you do this? And how come you do this? Like, bitch, if you don't stop questioning me, like, I'm sorry, and just yes. But thank you so much, Amber. I appreciate you. I love
Thank
you, my
you.
sister. Of course, absolutely. Your information is already in the banner, so people know where to find you, where to go look for you, and so on and so forth. So you don't have to go through the whole, oh, can you find
Perfect.
me here?
I appreciate you.
You're welcome, and definitely give me a couple days, and I will send you your recorded segment of the streamathon.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys. Thank you, beautiful.